Push a beat. Yeah, push a beat. Turn me up. Turn me up, beat. Corners in the paddock, get my piece. Push a beat. Cop new hammers for my beat. We don't want them.
Hello, wonderful people of YouTube. This is Cree Cree. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. And as always and forever, I truly do appreciate you. And I also want to say welcome to my new subscribers. I had a few new subscribers. Seems like every time I get on the app now, I get a couple of more subscribers from before. So I do appreciate that. Thanks for rocking with me, and for those that's been here, thanks for being patient with me and all that. I'm trying to get there for y'all. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I get to that 1,000 mark, boy. Woo, boy, I'm gonna celebrate for real. But anyway, here we are, episode 2 of the Messy Auntie series. If you didn't tune in to the first episode, what I am going to start doing, this is the Messy Auntie series. I'm going to start showcasing women, and in some cases men, that we love, adore, admire, love, hate, any public figure at this point that we've all come to grow up and know. That gets a little messy. That gets a little bit too messy. First episode was about Anita Baker, and yeah, while as lengthy as that was, it really pinpointed on some stuff. So this second episode, we're gonna get right on into it and talk about the next recipient. Now, when I was first approached about doing a Messy Auntie on this next lady, at first I kind of laughed, like, yeah, okay, ain't no way I'm doing her. But the more I looked into her life and her story and everything that pretty much happened with her leading up to her fame and everything, her story is actually pretty interesting. And at the end of it all, I actually grew a little bit of admiration for her for what she's, for what she has accomplished and what she has been able to accomplish. But at the same time, she's still messy as hell. So I'm like, she fits the criteria of the Messy Auntie. So I was like, hey, you know what? Let's go for it. Let's do it. So without further ado, the Messy Auntie that we're gonna talk about in today's episode is none other than the pimpin' trap queen of Atlanta herself. Give it up for Mama D. So, if you do not know who Mama D is, she is the famed reality star that is most widely known for her time on Love and Hip Hop, namely Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So, no more wasting time. Let's go on and dive right on in. Mama D was born Deborah Denise Gaither on September 21st, 1963. She was born in Atlanta, Georgia, in Grady Hospital. As she puts it, she's a Grady baby. She was brought up by her mother and stepfather. Her mother was a school teacher. Not much is known about her stepfather other than the fact that I saw that he used to put hands on her when she was growing up. That seems to be pretty normal in the old school households, back in the day. Contrary to what most people want to believe, she did not grow up in poverty, did not grow up poor. They were pretty much an average middle-class family. She was an average pretty teenage girl, tall, slender, long hair, banging body, dressed to the nines. All the boys wanted her attention and everything. She attended Turner High School and Decatur High School, and actually graduated from Decatur in, I want to say, 1982. Not long after graduating high school, she married her high school sweetheart by the name of Daryl Richardson. From that union, a son was born by the name of Daryl Richardson Jr., who we all have later come to know as world-famous Trillville rapper of the 2000s, Lil Scrappy. Not long after Daryl Jr. was born, Mama D filed for divorce from Daryl Sr., and he eventually left the family. After the divorce, she moved back home with her mom, her and little Daryl Jr., And after a while of just sitting at home in her mama's house not doing nothing, her mama pulled her to the side and said, hey,
no, you need to get your ass out here and work. If my old ass can get up out here and go to work, you can get up and look for work.
So from there, she went back to school for nursing and obtained her associate's degree in nursing in 1987. It was also during this time when she got her nursing degree that she gave birth to a daughter by the name of Jasmine. Her name is Jasmine Brown. I couldn't find any information on her father, so I don't know if he was, a permanent fixture or if he was really there. I don't really know. That I have not seen a whole lot of information on him, unfortunately. So from her 20s to her early 30s, she was a nurse. She had worked at various hospitals and clinics and other facilities across Atlanta. She even mentioned that she had worked at an abortion clinic at one point. During the early 90s, maybe early to mid 90s, she met a gentleman by the name of Ernest Bryant. And if you are a Love and Hip Hop fan or have watched it at some point or another, you know exactly who Ernest is. Ernest and Mama D got married in 1996. And I do believe it was the summer of 96. And unfortunately, not long after their marriage, Mama D was involved in a head-on collision with the 17-year-old and banged her up pretty bad. Her knee was shattered in about 3 places, and she was then unable to walk for the next 3 years. And unfortunately, because of that, she could no longer work. She had to give up nursing. So she was able to get on welfare, but unfortunately, with the money that she was getting from welfare and whatever that Ernest was bringing into the household, it still wasn't really enough for them to really make ends meet. I mean, they were able to make ends meet, but not like they should have. So from that point, she got introduced to the drug game. When she had her accident, she had many stays in the hospital. And one of her hospital stays, she was roomed up with someone in the hospital that kind of gave her the game on doing drug dealing and even doing pimping. Mama D said it started when she took one of her welfare checks and she bought her an 8-ball. Divvied that 8-ball up and put them in the little dime bags, and she just started selling them just to bring some extra money into the house. From there, the demand grew, so then the supply grew. From there, she started to kind of hang around like some of the pimps in the neighborhood and started watching how they ran their business. And from there, she started maybe with a couple of girls, and then eventually she turned her business into a brothel, and she ended up employing at the upwards of about 15. She once told the story about how when little Scrappy was young, when he was of age, of course, that he actually got serviced by one of her employees. And she said he still owed me money for that.
So when I spoke to Scrappy, he did say when he was younger, he
had his dick sucked by one of my hoes, and he still owe me. Scrappy, you still owe mama for that trick. What?
And she gained quite a reputation in the streets. She did both of these for about 10 years. She had the reputation of having the flyest and cleanest hoes in all of Atlanta, because she kept them up. She kept their hair done, kept their nails done, kept them in the flyest outfits. They all wore the same colors. So if you was on a stroll and you seen all the women wearing the same colors or the same type of clothes, and you knew that those was, she called herself Lady D back then. So you knew them was Lady D's hoes, and you knew that they was gonna be top notch. And so that's how she was able to get her stuff going. So she ultimately left the game around 2005, maybe 2005, 2006, when she got caught up in a drug bust. She tells the story about how she was at a trap house and she was there to buy a key of booger sugar, and somebody had somehow tipped them off that the feds was coming. So what she did is she got a sanitary napkin, put some ketchup on that sanitary napkin, and basically shoved that between her legs. And so when they did come in and they eventually got a female officer to search her, because only females can search females, and once she searched her and saw that she had a bloody pad on, she basically was like, nah, I ain't searching her no more. She basically walked away without having to do any kind of time. But by this point, Scrappy had already kind of made it, and he was like, look, mama, what is it gonna take for you to stop doing this? You ain't gotta do this no more. He pretty much begged her to stop, and eventually that's what she did. But one thing that I noticed about Mama D is she is not one to let someone wait on somebody to take care of her. She gonna go out and get it herself however she needs to. So around the late 2000s going into the 2010s, Mama D had kind of struck up a friendship with Keisha Cole and her mom Frankie. If you are old enough to remember back then, Keisha Cole had her reality show on BET, and her mom was on there, and her mom gained a little bit of notoriety and fame off of there too. So Frankie gave her the contact information on talking with somebody at BET. Then Mama D sent in an 8x10 picture of herself and, sent a little bio in for her, basically saying who she was and, she Lil Scrappy's mom and things like that. BET rejected her because they still weren't as relevant. Like, Scrappy was pretty known, but he wasn't that well known yet. But eventually, in 2011, they caught the attention of Mona Scott Young, who was producing Love and Hip Hop in New York, and they were looking to expand the brand to go to Atlanta. At that point in time, Scrappy was in the news because he was at that time dating Diamond from what was the name of that rap group? Was it Freak Mob? No. What was it? Hold on. Crime Mob. Diamond from Crime Mob. He was dating her, but they had made the news because Diamond was cheating on Lil Scrappy with Soulja Boy. Now, ain't that some funny shit?
Huh?
So with that drama that they had brewing, that caught the attention of Miss Mona, who then reached out to them to have them to come on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. She was a shoo-in for it because in Love and Hip Hop New York, they had Jim Jones's mama on there, getting into it with Chrissy, Jim Jones, on again, off again fiance. I don't even think they ever got married. And so she wanted to have a similar storyline on Atlanta, not with Diamond, but at the time, Scrappy was still off and on with his baby mama, Erica Dixon, and they had some friction going on. So in the summer of 2012, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta premiered. In comes Scrappy with Mama D, and she pretty much blew up from that point, and the rest is history.
And in that order.
Okay, that is it for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2, where we gonna get into the mess. Thank you all for listening, and if you have made it this far, please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see y'all next time. My name is Cree Cree. Y'all be easy.